onto your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Don't entertain. So time comes out with another video. We talking Natalie Nunn and Lemuel Pepper at the Breakfast Club interview. Okay, now this interview was actually really funny. Shout out to Charlamagne for keeping us laughing throughout this interview because it would not be as entertaining had he not been there. Okay, so first, Charlamagne starts off with the confusion between Natalie and her getting on the Breakfast Club. Natalie's smart as heck. Natalie did that so she could go on the Breakfast Club. Whether it was a miscommunication or not, Natalie did that purposefully because she knows that they would talk about it on the Breakfast Club. It's like reverse psychology. They will talk about it on the Breakfast Club and end up inviting them there so that way she could discuss it further and do her interview and promote Baddies These. So she knew exactly what she was doing. Not smart. A lot of people don't give her enough credit for that. Like, the girl knows what she be doing. So Charlamagne first calls out Lemmy for making the black community look bad. Okay, we've all heard this a million times before. You guys know how Lemmy does. Lemmy is a wordsmith. Okay, he not only jump ropes around words, he hopscotches. Okay, he backflips, fuzzy pops. Like, he does a whole lot around words. So he's basically like, I consider myself kind of like, just because, we put out raw content, but HBO, they do the same thing. They have a show called Real Sex. They put out content that, is not the most appealing to black people. I'm like, wait a minute. We're not going to do no HBO compared to Zeus. I'm just saying, that was a little bit of a reach, but I get what he was saying. They're not the first network that has made black people not look in the best light. VH1 is probably one of the first because of Flavor of Love. So let's not act like they're the only ones. But what makes it worse, I think, and what makes people mad is because they do it unapologetically. They kind of brag about it low key. That's what I think makes people so off-putting when it comes to Zeus, because they think it's like a key that, a lot of these girlies, they just get up on the platform, they boop, 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 boop. And then Lemuel Pepper's making millions of dollars. So that's what makes it worse. At least Love and Hip Hop, they try to, finesse the situation. They try to make it, seem different. That's not the case with Zeus. You see it for what it is. It's raw. So they get to the balance of the shows. Okay, we've done this before, but let's do it again. This is the problem with Zeus, is the balance. I think so too. Okay, because a lot of the shows that Lemuel Pepper mentioned are either not in production right now or haven't been in production for years. Okay, so as y'all see here, we got Joss that was still on, Blueface and Krishan was just ended, Bad Boys, horrible, needs help. We all know this. Okay, let's continue. Baddies East auditions, Baddies West reunion, Baddies West. First season, Blueface, Krishan, Mayweather, and Gotti. Blueface, Bobby, I Love You Per, which was good, right? But then you have some of these shows that they talk about, that he talked about in the interview, like the dating shows. So the T had the show, Blame It on K-Way, T's character, and then B. Simone hit her show. To me, those shows were not real. I don't think any of those shows were real, in my opinion. Those shows were basically shows that was like improv. You could tell B. Simone wasn't really looking for love on that show. So I don't consider that reality television. I consider that skit improv acting. It was like a mix of that, all three mixed together. So I don't see how that's like a reality show. You would consider that a reality show. Same goes with Blame It on K-Way. Blame It on K-Way is not T in his real life. He walks around like a nigga. You feel me? That's just a character that he does. So that's the problem, I think, with Zeus, because they don't have any content that's reality TV, that's real reality TV, that just doesn't include a lot of fighting. I think that's the issue with Zeus, and that's why they get a whole lot of backlash, because we don't have that on there. Okay, so he sort of, like I said, jump ropes, skips, hopscotches around that questions. Basically, he starts talking about those certain shows. He's like, oh, we got Doses of Drea, we got Bobby Olivia Pearl. We had our first gay dating show. They didn't want the gays. They said, whoa. Said they got a whole lot of criticism for that. Doses of Dre, not a lot of people watch that. I remember y'all be the same ones too, saying y'all want shows that don't include fighting and stuff. But when Doses of Dre was airing, I remember the internet used to read her down about how the show was boring. Y'all said it was a snooze fest, which it was. And it's only because Dre is not the most entertaining person. They could still have entertaining people that don't fight on that network. And I think that's the issue with Zeus. They don't have those entertainment people that don't fight on that network that can make a show. Which I feel like they cast a lot more unknown people. They could make that happen. They cast too much people that already have a audience behind them. So then they get there, they do nothing, and then it's just boredom. Okay, so after that, they Lemmy brings up like a psyche eval. So Charlamagne's like, y'all don't, do psych eval or check to see if anything is wrong with like any of the cast members or anything like that. So they asked about the psych eval. They're like, oh, do you guys even do psych eval? So he's like, we do background checks. We do our due diligence to see what we can do. And I'm like, y'all don't not do a psych eval because Dingley when got casted, Miss Stone Cold, the girl who shall not be named from now on, she wouldn't have been casted because she out here gang. They wouldn't have been casted. Okay, a lot of these cast members wouldn't have been casted. Y'all just make sure that they straight. They not gonna do nothing to harm other cast members. But y'all don't do a true psych eval that these reality shows do, which are hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of questions to see if you're mentally stable to be in a house without trying to attempt to unalive somebody. So that's Cap Lemmy Pepper. But we're gonna let you run with it. Okay, I'm gonna let you keep living it up. Like Justin said, not paying your taxes. Like, he pays some taxes, I know that. So then they asked about Erica Mena. Didn't I say this? Didn't I tell y'all? I'm a psychic. Didn't I tell y'all Natalie was gonna call Erica? Erica, that bitch Spice, she's a monkey. I know all these monkey ass bitches be bringing up my husband and kids too. You want to come on baddies and get this bag? Like, they think alike. So they kind of bring up Erica, and she's basically like, oh, if Erica were to come on baddies, like that would be a good thing. Like we would bring her onto baddies, no issues. I'm like, y'all be taking VH1 leftovers like it ain't nothing. But I don't blame you. Okay, so they said she kind of missed her season because Erica's from the East. That would have been like her season or whatever. So Erica, we gonna see her on the next season of Baddies. Y'all could guarantee that. So get ready, girl. Start getting your fits ready. Okay. So then they asked Lemmy Pepper what's his inspiration behind like starting like the Zeus Network. He said his parents ran multiple networks and he got inspired. Lemmy's parents ran like I remember I believe his dad, he ran like a gospel network. So for him to start this channel and this network, it is kind of like crazy because his dad did like do like gospel and everything like that. So I knew of that before. And they get into the liability of it all. So like, if somebody were to do something crazy, like how liable would they be? Okay. And he basically says like, it depends. It all depends on if they do something to where they would have to stop working them. He said they never had to kick nobody off the show for nothing that they did, which is true. I don't remember them ever having to do that. But they start also talking about the liability when it comes to the Floyd Mayweather situation. Now, y'all know Big Legs didn't get brought up, which I wish that they asked about her. But he said, basically, it seems like Lemmy Pepper is acting as if, like, Jocelyn, this all on you, girl. Like, you hit her, you deal with it. Zeus was not involved or partook in this. It was just a part of the story. So, which I'm like, Jocelyn, you better be ready because it looked like Zeus not going to try to take any accountability if the flexor comes to try to sue. So, yeah, Jocelyn, you're in for a rude awakening if she does have a case because they don't look like, Mr. Lemmy Pepper's not taking any It's not taking any fault for, it being a Floyd's Zeus event. Okay. And it asks, if anybody ever, touch Lemmy Pepper. And he said, I've had a few, try to like approach me and like, I deal with a lot of females. So like, sometimes they might get a little angry, they do certain things. He wanted to say Tommy. We all see that video where Tommy was screaming in Lemmy Pepper's face. And I believe, allegedly, that's where all these people got these rumors from. They're rumors, they're not confirmed, it's all alleged. I didn't say it. The comments said it. Of people saying that Tommy and Lemmy Pepper did the do because of that video. Because she was yelling in his face like, yeah, you know how Tommy does. Make my neck. One of those. He was like, you know how Tommy was all up in his face. So I believe he was really alluding to Tommy Lee, but didn't really want to say her name. Because I don't see any other person really getting in his face and doing the most like Tommy would. Okay. Maybe Stone Cold would. All right. So then Envy asked Natalie about her chin surgery and if she ever got any chin surge. Now, listen, I do remember at one point Natalie getting it, but I guess she did. She said she didn't, but I feel like she has. I feel like, didn't she shave it down just a little bit? But Natalie says she hasn't, and it's all due to her weight changes. Excuse me. I really don't believe that, though. Okay, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So then we get into, even if I was Natalie, no, you bitch, me. Charlemagne asks her, says, during the winter, are you gonna wear a chinchilla coat? This is why Charlemagne is leading in these interviews. Because without him, we don't go get the good laughs. Okay? And they ask Lemmy, do they have any certain limitations before they kick people off? He says no. And we get into Jess the Hilarious and Natalie having beefs. Apparently, Jess at one point said that Tanisha should be running the Baddies franchise and not Natalie. Okay, I don't agree. I think Natalie's the perfect person to run this franchise for entertainment purposes. I don't think Tanisha. I feel like Tanisha, as much as it's gonna sound crazy, I feel like Tanisha's more selfish than Natalie is. I swear to God. Say what you want about Natalie, but she has put girls in position to win. I feel like Tanisha wouldn't have done the same. No shade. I feel like she would have tried to make it like her shows, but it's like people surrounding her a little bit or coming and go. No, I'm sorry. Like Natalie is very business mind oriented, and she could get over a conflict. I feel like had Tanisha and Roly Poly fought, Roly Poly, we wouldn't have seen Roly Poly after that one season. She wouldn't have came back because of just how Tanisha acts during those reunions. When she would snap on the girls, it'd be like, "Get off of my set," and all this stuff. Like, I'm just saying, we wouldn't have seen certain things, operate the same. So I don't think Tanisha would be good. And I like Tanisha and all, but no. I think Natalie's the perfect fit. Okay, so she just the Hilarious said that about Natalie. So Natalie's just like, I don't really mess with her because like she just be starting a whole lot of stuff. She be talking her stuff. Like I don't like her and stuff like that. So apparently at one point in time, Zeus was out and Natalie was in her club center and they were playing Nicki Minaj. And Natalie was. Next thing you know, just the Hilarious, there was a bottle and she said, and started drinking out the water. It started drinking out the bottle. So now he's like, "What are you doing? That's our bottle. This is our section. You're not even fucking with Zeus." Apparently, she snapped on Just the Hilarious because Just the Hilarious overstepped her boundaries and was trying to, take a little drinky drink and do her big one. But Natalie wasn't having it. Natalie felt like, hey, you talk a whole lot about us, talked a whole lot of crap about the Zeus Network, so on and so forth. And I do remember this. Natalie's not capping about this. I remember Just the Hilarious used to diss Zeus, especially when Zeus was like, I think on Batty South or West, like at its peak. That she was rapping. Okay, she was rapping. So I could see why Natalie had reacted that way. If only the cameras was a rolling. I would have let her see that. Okay. And they also say that Jess said that they were exploiting Krishan Rock. Now, I will say this. I don't think that Natalie's exploiting Krishan Rock on her and Blueface's show, but I think she exploits Krishan Rock on baddies. And I say this is because she puts her in certain situations to make her pop off. First season, we seen it with Persuasion. We knew I feel like Natalie knew Persuasion had, slobbed on Blueface's knob, or at least tempted to, allegedly, and stuff. And then we seen it on Baddies West with the whole Low London situation. Natalie makes sure that, Krishan knew that Low London was saying things about her, and now we're going to see it on Baddies East because of the sister. She's going to make sure that her and her sister have certain beefs or certain conflicts. So because of this, I think she's exploiting her on Baddies. Now, when it comes to their show, which I call B-roll, Krishan and Blueface crazy and B-roll, I don't think she's exploiting them on there because they're just moving on their lives. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think that's true when it comes to their show. Baddies, yes, she does. But that's her job, though. She's a producer. Like, you got to wear that enemy hat. So she's just wearing her hat. Okay? So they say that Krishan and Blueface, Lemmy's like, she watches every cut. Blueface, they sit down. They might smoke a little weed, not when she's pregnant, though. Pop a little bottle of Hennessy, and they're watching the show, and they see the show before it's put out. So they say that Krishan and Blue see the show in its rough cut before it's put out, which I do think that is true because I remember seeing sometimes Krishan watching like a sneak preview of it or something. So I don't think he was kept about that. Maybe not every episode, because I don't think he would have. They would have been comfortable with having her shown in that room when they were smoking, and she's just like around the secondhand smoke of weed. Okay, so then Charlamagne was clowning Natalie on the whole interview. He said, "Do you FaceTime a lot?" He also says, sometimes you got to do some breathing exercise, Natalie, to calm down. Chin up, shoulders back, and breathe in. You gotta love Charlamagne. I'm telling you. So then Charlamagne says that Lemmy doesn't get enough smoke. I agree and disagree with this because he does get a lot of smoke when it comes to people exposing the network because they always bring it all the way back to him. But when it comes to just in general, it is to where Natalie or Jocelyn, they get a huge brunt of everything because it's their show. So I get what he means by that, but I do think he still gets smoked regardless. They still be on his ass. I've heard so much rumors about that man, it's not even funny. So then we get into Natalie's sociology and communications degree. Okay, Natalie has went and got to the education bag. Shout out to you, Nat. Okay, so she says she uses that to be able to basically she didn't say manipulate the girls, but like basically that's what it is, manipulating the girls into certain situations. Which I knew this about Natalie having that sociology degree in that California college that she went to. Natalie's smarter than a lot of people think, and that's what gets people effed up in these Zeus streets because they underestimate her. She's really smart, like super smart. So they asked them, has VH1 ever sent them like a cease and desist? The way Lemmy says this is crazy. Basically, it's like if the VH1 cast members sign on and they do the show, if they get in trouble, it's on them. Basically, in more than one words, that's what he was saying. Like, it's not on Zeus, it's on them because they have the contract with that network, not Zeus, which I'm like, that does make sense though. Legally, it makes sense. So I was like, damn, because he was just like, well, they've reached out and talked to the top CEO. So he's talked to them before, but he don't give a damn because he's having Mariah Lynn on here and soon Erica Mena. Okay, Charlamagne says that he heard them over talking before the interview started that they're going to have a show with Erica Mena called One Monkey Doesn't Stop the Show. So, when I tell you I screamed, that's wrong, Charlamagne. And if they have Erica on baddies, it's gonna be a bad look for Zeus because it's gonna make it seem like y'all condone what she said it did. So I wouldn't put her on there if I was Nat. Plus, I think Erica's past that point in her life. I don't think she wants to do it either because she doesn't want to be seen in a fighting type light anymore, especially after this whole fight situation. Because now we know what's your trigger. They're gonna bring up your son. Okay, you go in the argument, they be like, that's why your son don't like you. That's why your son don't like you. Next thing you know, you calling the monkeys again. So Erica, don't do it. Don't do it. That was really much the interview. It was funny as heck because of Charlamagne. You gotta love Charlamagne. Thank God he was there and not just the hilarious. Because you sometimes, lady, they been having Jess and Envy and not, Charlamagne. Okay, let me know what you guys thought about this interview. What did you guys find interesting about some of the stuff that they detailed in the interview? And we're out, babies.
No personal thing.